Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again on this platform where we tell you undiluted truth. Do you know that one of the qualities of a good leader is being able to make decisions even if it affects you personally? Trump, in his raid on illegal and undocumented immigrants, had come knocking at his own door, as some of his own workers who are undocumented have come out to speak out.
They arrived in vans. They arrived in SUVs.
Hi, guys.
Most of them co-workers, some of them friends. There were 19 of them, each with a story to tell. They all took the elevator to our studio. 3 elevators, in fact. What were all these people doing here? All of them wanted to talk about their years of working for Donald Trump's golf clubs. They also all have another thing in common. Raise your hand, how many of you are undocumented workers? And how many of you worked for the Trump organization? Raise your hand. All of you. All of them say they worked for Mr. Trump at his various golf courses in New York and New Jersey, some for more than a decade, despite being in the United States illegally, from countries including Mexico and Guatemala. They brought with them their work uniforms and stacks of pay stubs from their former employer. Jose Juarez worked as a waiter at Trump's Westchester Golf Club for 10 years and often served Donald Trump.
He used to come and we serve him a Diet Coke out of the glass bottle into a plastic cup with ice.
Do you think he knew where you were from?
Yes, he knew I was from Mexico.
You told him?
Yes.
Do you think the president knew that you were undocumented?
I think so.
This was an open secret.
Lawyer Anibal Romero represents 38 undocumented workers, including this group, all of whom worked at Trump properties. He says 11 of them were quietly fired in January from Trump's Westchester club after the club did an audit in the midst of the government shutdown and the fight over the border wall. The rest of these workers quit given the toxic environment.
Some of these employees were the most trusted employees of the Trump family. They've been working there for 10, 15 years. Some of my clients had, the keys to, for example, Eric Trump's house in Westchester, New York.
Nearly all of these 19 undocumented workers told us they've met Donald Trump. Sandra Diaz is from Costa Rica and worked as a housekeeper for 4 years at Trump National Golf Club in New Jersey.
I work really close to him in his house. Always I with him, with Melania, with Ivanka. Always I stay inside the house with all the family. They know me. I have a keys. I have to go in. I have to take care all clothes, everything in this house. I have to care.
Sandra told us she believes Donald Trump knew she was here illegally because he has to sign off on everything at the club. How do you feel when you hear the president say that people like yourselves shouldn't be in this country?
I feel really bad.
All of the workers paid taxes, but were not given benefits. Victorina Morales also worked at Trump's golf club in New Jersey as a housekeeper. For 5 years, she made Trump's bed and dusted off his golf trophies. Did you ever tell the management at the golf course that you were undocumented or that you didn't have the right paperwork? She told us yes. She told her supervisors, but was told legal papers didn't matter as long as she did the work. What documents, ¿qué papeles did you show when you applied for the job? Victorina says she didn't show any paperwork when she got the job, but in 2016 she was suddenly asked for legal documentation. She says when she told her manager she didn't have it, he got his cousin to take her to a house in New Jersey to get documents, and that her manager himself paid the $175 fee for her fake documents.
There is another client I have in Westchester who presented fake documents, and he was told that they didn't look good enough. So they had him return 3 times to get fake documents that looked better.
Did Donald Trump know where you were from, and do you think that he knew you were undocumented? Victorina told me Trump once asked her where she was from, and she told him Guatemala. She says the majority of housekeepers were undocumented and that Trump must have known. Margarita Cruz worked as a housekeeper at Trump's golf club in Westchester, New York for 9 years.
What do you think when you hear Donald Trump talk about undocumented workers and how you shouldn't be allowed in this country, yet you worked at his golf club?
Margarita says Trump is a hypocrite, that he says they are bad people, rapists and traffickers, but they are honest, hard-working people who worked hard for him.
He's been benefiting from undocumented labor for many, many years. It's sad that he's been lying to the American people.
Randy joins us now. Has the Trump organization had any response to what those workers told you?
Anderson, we reached out to the Trump organization several times asking for a response to the fact that these allegations and also the fact that the Trump organization has been employing these undocumented workers for years. We didn't get a response, but the Trump organization has responded to the New York Times, which has also done some reporting on this issue, telling the Times they have strict hiring practices and that if an employee submits false documentation to circumvent the law, they will be fired immediately. Now, that's certainly not what these workers told us happened in their case. And that statement to the New York Times, Anderson, certainly doesn't answer our question, which is, did Donald Trump know that these undocumented workers were working for him as he was publicly railing against them? Right. Also, one other note, most of the workers in our story, they're all facing deportation because, as you know, there is no plan for those 11 million plus illegal immigrants in this country. Only one of them now has legal permanent status. That's Sandra Diaz, but she didn't get it until long after she left Trump's golf club in New Jersey, Anderson.
Good. When I saw this video, I said, oh, say now, hey, chicken has come home to roast. So Donald Trump in his establishments have undocumented and illegal immigrants working for him. But from the report, I heard they were all fired in January, even before Trump comes into power. That is to tell you he is ready to begin the polishing of the system from inside his own self. Oburo was not saying one thing and doing another thing. And I give it to him. And you must understand that from the revelation we are getting, the information we are getting, you know, Trump slammed a complete stoppage, about 90% stoppage of US aid. And we heard that some of these media, CNN and all of them, are getting money that we are, you know, through this US aid. They are sponsoring media conspiracy against Trump. And it's not surprising to see it being presented at their stations. Well, it doesn't stop good things from happening. But like I said, I've mentioned it earlier, that if I'm seated one-on-one with Trump, I will advise him to document all of these illegal immigrants who are working legitimately to make their living and contributing their own through tax paying, and deport those criminal elements who are illegal immigrants. I said that before, and this applies to these people. But it's up to him. Who am I? I'm just an African living in Africa with a bigger problem in Africa to sort out. So America's problem is not my problem for now. But as a global citizen, I'm concerned about humanity and fairness to everyone. I hope he gets this kind of message, or people around him will explain this thing to him. Document people who are working legitimately, who have paid tax over the years to America, working legitimately and making legitimate or making, you know, legitimate means of, you know, earnings and paying their taxes. They should be documented and allowed to leave than deporting every Dick and Harry. Please, I just hope this message makes sense. Who am I to advise the president of America? But it is laid in my heart to do so. And what is your own take on this video you've just watched about Donald Trump? Do you think he's a man of his word, or he is overdoing this thing? Let's have your opinion on the comment section. I still am now Suchalot Peters, a diehard follower and fan of Donald Trump in his decision about immigration. Blockade everywhere so that we Africans can start developing our homeland. I'm talking about USAID. Stop it completely if need be. Stop anything that had to do with USAID to Africa, because this money ends up in the pocket of corrupt politicians, and some of them used to sponsor terrorism. I'm going to address some of these things in the next video. Please keep watching. I still remain as the advocate for good governance. Help me share this video, and what's your thought on it? Drop it on the comment section. Bye bye for now. GGN, uniting the people for good governance.